Hey, I guess I'm doing today's video with Rusty behind me. It's been an interesting time lately because I haven't been feeling called to say anything. I haven't been feeling called to make a video. I haven't been feeling, but I committed to, so I am. I think part of the reason I haven't been feeling called to say anything is because I'm wanting to find something to say. I can tell that I'm in a slight, subtle, kind of out of my alignment, addictive stage. I had food poisoning a couple days ago, and I've just been recovering from that. And so I came up with an idea where, for right now at least, I decided that I would offer anyone a chance to ask a question if they wanted to. So I went to the EOL community page, which is Evolving Out Loud Community. So if you want to join that, it's EOL Community on Facebook. And I just said, does anyone have any questions? And a bunch showed up. And I think I'll just start with the first one, because there were some really heavy, big ones in there. And I'm just going to start with something light, because sometimes maybe I can get myself back in the zone by connecting with you, because your questions help me find something in me. You know, sometimes I can't see what's off, and I'm just okay with that, and sometimes I just let it sit, and sometimes I just go, you know what, I just feel off, and I just sit with it. And I know that I feel off because there's some old part of me that is struggling to argue with what is. It's trying to find something. And sometimes I'll have that, and then I'll just go, I'm off. And when I'm off, I do what I can to not make too many actions, not make a call with someone, not do anything that, because I might move from a tainted place. I don't mean like someone who can be there for me and help me through it, but I just mean I find it's common that when I'm off, it's like a good time to not go make a deal right now. It's a good time to not go discuss stuff with anybody. It's a good time to not discuss business or anything, and just accept that I'm off and maybe go lie down for a while. Just be in a war with what is as long as you need to until it decides that you're done. So I feel that way a little bit today. I just feel off today. I feel a little bit needy and a little bit addictive, and I can feel that I'm off though, and that's where your power is to own that you're off. Because if you don't know that, then you're just needing stuff from other people, and you're just thinking that everyone else is off. You're thinking, why isn't that person responding to me? Or why didn't they write me back right away? And you feel this needier thing because you need the world to change when you feel needy. But when you're aware that you just feel needy, then you just sit with your neediness. You sit with your offness. So for me, I thought a cool way to start would be to go to the EOL community and see if you guys had questions. And the first one that came up was, Debbie writes, I'm really trying to let go of nagging my hubby about his food choices. And since the Memorial Day Evolving Out Loud event, I've done a really good job. And the urge comes up to return to commenting or the eye roll. I guess it takes time to break a bad habit, but I'd love your insight on this. Okay. So basically, Debbie has a problem where she feels she's nagging her husband about his food choices. So, and she doesn't want to, but obviously she doesn't completely not want to, because she still is. And there's probably an inner battle between her trying to figure out if she is nagging, or if she's having a standard for herself and what she wants, or if she is trying to argue with what is outside. So there's a lot of different things that are going on, and one thing is to just feel for a second in what, Debbie, you have decided other people outside of you should be doing. One thing we do with the people that we're dating or married to especially, right, is we think that they should be someone different. Like, you would never talk to a stranger that way. You would never feel this stuff, but you feel that there's something that your spouse should be. You feel that there's something that you have a right to tell them. And it's one thing to talk about how you feel about something, because if your husband hears why it hurts you inside, he might actually feel in his heart a difference, versus if you say, you're doing this and it's annoying. Whenever my fiance says anything to me that's like, you're doing this, or I say, you're doing this, we can easily get triggered. Unless the other one is in a state of the vortex that is so high where we can just be a space to listen, right? So if one of us is going, you're doing this to me, and the other one's in a space to go, this person just needs to be understood, I'm just going to listen because their pain is actually about themselves, then it can be transcended. But it's very easy to start a fight with someone if you start with, you're doing this. But I want you to ask yourself, Debbie, why does it bother you so much? Because there's a whole different group of things that it could be. It could be inside, you have a trigger about that because you had a relative in your childhood die from what they ate, or you had some story where you felt abandoned when someone ate badly, or you have a feeling where it's triggering something in you. And then the thing that you're labeling as nagging is actually you trying to save yourself from feeling something that you're scared you're going to feel. You're scared that you're going to feel abandoned. You're scared that you're going to feel lost if your husband eats a certain way. And you're making the way that he eats about you. Remember that what he's doing is not about you. It's about him, and it's about his choices. And one of the reasons we stress is we think that we're here to control everyone else's choices. Everyone else's, even if they're mad at you, even if they're whatever, why is it up to us to decide that they should stop? There are people that have been very close to me that I tried very hard to get to see that they could have a different life and eat different ways and feel different things. And I realized it just pushed them away from me. So I've had to work inwardly and ask myself, why am I trying to coach them so much? Oh, that's because I want to eat a certain way. That's because that's what I want. I want something better. I want something better for me. And one thing I learned that was really huge is it's very possible that the people that aren't changing because we haven't given them a higher level of possibility in ourselves of what we can be, which shows them what they can be. In other words, if you feel this motivation for him to change, that means you gotta change. Because people only do things based on their level of awareness. And when you step into your heart and you step into your calling and you become something amazing, you show other people that that place is available. That level of heart-centeredness, that level of bodily connection, that level of muscle, that level of fitness, that level of power, that level of intelligence, that level of compassion, right? And if you hold yourself with yourself and you make your number one connection to you and not to what he does, that's the other thing, is you got to replace your need for him to be a certain way with your need for yourself. You're wanting him to be different because you don't know about the connection available to yourself that has no conditions, that loves you unconditionally, that will always be there. And sometimes when we want something to be different outside, it's because we don't even know about the unconditional loving space inside. So if ever I feel I want something outside, that just means I'm disconnected from what's going on inside. And my job is to replace it whether it's through highest excitement movements, whether it's through letting go of something heavy, whether it's through meditating, whether it's through going to a community where people are very supportive of my highest calling, you know, something like Agape with Michael Beckwith. There's different places I go to. Being in a high vibration, I need to replace my neediness of whatever's going on outside with something that's going on inside. I need to make it bigger. And that answered why I was feeling off today. Because there was something I was feeling needy about. And it doesn't matter what it is, because it's just, it was outside, and I need to replace me with inside. Because I've had so much outside lately that I haven't had enough inside. I've had outside from being sick and having food poisoning and needing different medicine and needing certain things because I was feeling so off. So I needed help. I needed to be, you know, assisted in that place, which I probably still could have just connected to myself more, but I didn't. I was like, oh, I need a probiotic, and I need my fiance to help me with this, and I need all this stuff. And that neediness was me off for a couple days. And because I was sick, I wasn't connecting to here as much. I was coughing and zoning out and throwing up. So the reason I love to answer questions is because I find a passion in myself for what I need to answer. And the biggest answer I have for you, Debbie, is your need for him to be different needs to be replaced by your connection to yourself. And if you build on that and build on that and build on that, don't just go, I'm going to try to not do this and not replace it with anything. You can never do that. You can't replace an addiction with nothing. You got to replace it with a connection to yourself, which is a real thing, not a corny thing. You have to spend time in your meditation, spend time in your heart, spend time in your passion, draw something, go sing a song, do something creative. Because the other thing is when we do this outside thing, that's because we're bored. And we're only bored because we're not using the infinite creative vibrational power that we are. So, Debbie, my answer is, take time to not only not do that, but never focus on what you're not doing. Just replace it with what you are doing. Don't just sit here and go, I'm not smoking. Start saying, I'm now bicycling. I'm now hiking. Don't say, I'm not just eating bad food. Say, I'm eating a good food. I'm drinking 5 juices a day. Don't just say, I'm not with this person anymore and just focus on the loss of that relationship. Say, I am connecting to me so that I can move to a new channel where I'm feeling so powerful and so amazing. So Debbie, that's my answer to you, is you got to replace your need for him to be different with your connection to yourself so you can show him that that level of connection is available. And when he feels that connection in himself, the byproduct might be he might not eat that much or that way anymore. But don't do it for that. Do it for you. The weird byproduct is the world will start to move based on your example. And that's why we're here, to become the example and not change anyone else, but change ourselves. And that's how we'll change the world. So thanks for changing me with that question. I feel awesome, and have a great day.